challenges that we have with this is that they're all seniors. Majority of them need to sign in person. I've had to go and do a listing appointment first. Now I'm going back for the listing signing. And then we have to coordinate everything. I also have 6 live listings right now that I'm working through. And then beyond the 5, this makes a total of 8 new ones coming up. So it makes your head spin a little bit. And so I wanted to ask everyone, what do they do to prioritize your quote unquote busy season to help you manage everything? What are you doing in your daily life to help with that? Because this is all going to happen for each and every one of you. I know it.
Um, First of all, congratulations. Second of all, where did these 5 referrals come from? Were those all the same resource or all different ones?
No. So on Monday, one is from a friend of mine where they have to move up north. It's a friend of hers. So it's a sphere of influence for one. And one was a referral from a gritty girl, Girls with Grit. And another one was from a senior living community. And then I got 2 more from a senior living
Wow.
community. And oh, I'm forgetting. See, I'm forgetting. And yesterday I got another one from my move manager
Wow.
and senior living community that did a home visit. So I didn't even count that one.
Wow.
And over the weekend, I had 2 from an independent living community.
Wow.
So it is, I have spreadsheets. I have my whiteboards up behind me, feel like an airline
Hmm.
person. Um, and this process takes time, but once the faucet gets turned on, you have to make sure, this is one of the things I'm talking about today, that you do have a system in place to manage all of these listings. Do you have a listing spreadsheet that you're using? And depending on what you're doing and how you are um, doing your business, who's helping you? Do you have a transaction coordinator to help you, which I do? And but I still do all my contracts because I like to be hands-on, right? Got to know what's going on. And then what kind of checklist do you have? Like, yep, listing appointment done, listing agreement signed, uploaded into my CRM, folder created because I print everything out as well. Photos ordered, video photographer ordered. Do you have a checklist on a spreadsheet that you're checking these off to make sure it's all getting up and running? When is your broker open? When is your open house if you want to have them? I'm starting to see a lot of my sellers asking not to put signs out, broker opens, or open houses. They don't want to do them. They feel like there's a lot of nosy neighbors that come out and not serious people where we can't vet them, because you all know you cannot vet someone coming in from an open house. No matter how much you think you can, it is not possible. You're not pulling a soft credit on them for their credit. You're not getting all their correct information. How many times have we had them sign in and it's the wrong email? So
Mickey Mouse comes to a lot
yep,
of my open houses. Yeah.
yeah. And that's frustrating. So my sellers down here are starting to say, nope, I don't want that. It does make marketing the house a little bit more different. And as many of you know, I market to my migration patterns. I have a whole class on this on how to market to your migration patterns, where to find them, and what to do with it when you do find them, because we are a transient community down here in Southwest Florida, meaning I have a lot of snowbirds. And yes, it is off season for us, but we're having a lot of families moving down right now. So we kind of do a little flippy do. In season, the snowbirds come down, the retirees, but now families want to move in before school starts and they have quick closes that they have. So many of you have a similar scenario, and it might just be a season or two change. But you have to start keeping track of these, not losing touch at the same time of making sure that you're following up with your um, current sellers. Like I use a program called List Track. And if you haven't used it, check it out. It came through our MLS. That's how I found it. Like, you know, when you get those little updates that come through when you log in, it's $9.99 a month, unlimited sellers. And what it does is it sends them a report for how many views on all the websites. We're talking homes.com, Zillow, Redfin, all of it. And then also brokers' websites as well. It shows you how many likes or favorites. It also shows a heat map indicator for who's looking where. So on one of my listings, I'm from Connecticut, but Essex, Connecticut came up, and I'm like, Essex, Connecticut is by Mystic. And someone looked at it, or I had 14 people who looked at it this past week from that location. So I was like, oh, now I need to market to those people because now they're looking to move down to Naples, right? So you have all of these tools that are at your fingertips. And if you are trying to keep expenses under control, um, what you can do, sorry, I just had a text come through from an agent. I was like, is that an offer? like, like squirrel. But what you can do is you can use the migration tool. You can, and I talked about this on an LFG call, so you can go back in to our LFG calls to take a look at them. They're on our Facebook pages. But the migration tool on Redfin will tell you who is looking and what your top markets are coming into your market and going out. It gives you the top 10. Why you would want to know this is you can reach out to, and I go into depth on this, but just as a quick overview, you could reach out to agents in that marketplace. Maybe they're part of your brokerage, and you can just type in and say, hey, I notice a lot of my clients are moving from your area to my area. Let's do a Zoom on what's happening in your area. What does it look like to have a $500,000 listing, $1 million listing? Showcase some of that, and let's collaborate. So you do one for me, and I'll do one for you. And then you kind of start a referral process with them, right? Because what happens is when someone calls me and says, hey, I have someone that's looking, to move to Milwaukee or whatever. I have never heard of that city before as a marketplace for me, but now ever since they said Milwaukee, it's like Milwaukee just keeps coming in. Your attention goes to the energy that you give things. So an energy will flow in, that attention. So things will start to shift for you. And it's no different than I have senior living communities call me and they're like, I have 15 openings right now and I need to fill these rooms. Who do you have for me? And I'm like, nobody. And within the next week, I'll have like 3 people for them. It's just the way it goes. But I do also rely heavily on time blocking. I've done a course on time blocking. It is really, really important that you time block and utilize your time blocks correctly. So take, for instance, how many of you volunteer in your community? Yep. My volunteer times, there's Tuesday, and my volunteer for my charity that I run, my networking group, is Tuesday for 2 hours. Whatever gets done within that 2 hours gets done. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It can go to next week. And you have to be very, very diligent. The other thing about time blocking is make sure that on a weekly basis, you are prepping for your taxes. I prep for my taxes on a monthly basis. I've done a class on this as well. I treat my taxes on a monthly basis like an expense sheet. I come from a corporate world. I always had to do an expense sheet every week, every month. So every month, I'm tracking everything. I have my accounts just like QuickBooks will, but I don't need to learn another app, right? We don't need to, I don't need to be a QuickBooks guru. So I kind of have my dates, I have my accounts, I plot everything. You have to talk to your accountant what they like, what they don't like, what's going to work for them. Do they have something that they could share with you? My accountant loves what I do because I actually have a summary sheet that pulls it all in to the front. And it's every month of expenses, income, my accounts, and I have it all listed. I even have a spreadsheet on listing expenses so that I know exactly what my listing is costing me. And it's just one of the workbook sheets in there. Um, you have to try and stay organized because this, what I've said in the beginning, be careful what you wish for. It'll snowball. And once it starts happening, it's like someone opened a waterfall and it just keeps going. So you can't lose momentum, right? Because as you're getting busy and as you're doing all of this, the next thing that you can't do is drop off talking to your referral partners. Leave behind writing your Google reviews for them, asking for professional reviews as well, sending your gratitude thank you cards. Because once you stop with the pipeline and stop making those contacts with those people, it'll dry up 90 days from now. And then you'll be back to square one. Okay, I just sold all my listings. I don't have anything happening. Let me go have 5 coffees this week. You don't want that to happen.
Mhm.
So that's why you just have to make sure that you are burning and churning and have a great spreadsheet. Like on certain days of the week, you have your trainings that you have on there. It's plotted on there. Then you have your time where you're going to do your admin. You have your time. Like for me, it's Wednesdays is when I go out into the community to do things. Wednesdays work for me because I know Mondays are terrible for people in this industry, and so are Fridays. So Tuesdays, sometimes they have, and it depends on the building, IDT meetings, which is interdisciplinary team meetings with everyone in there. And Wednesday is the time where I can go visit them or they can get out of the building. So I always ask my referral partners, what day of the week is the slowest for you? Because in this industry, things will flip, things will change. Sometimes they'll get a walk-in tour and have to cancel on you. And that's okay. That makes me happy that they have a walk-in tour. Their job is to fill that building. And your job is to be able to help them. So let me hear from all of you. Are you experiencing any of this within your business right now?
So Felicia, I wanted to share, I don't have nearly the volume you do. In February of all months, I had 4 listings all at the same time, which had never happened in my business before. And I was completely a mess and very overwhelmed. The systems for 1 at a time weren't working for 4 at a time. I fumbled through, I leveraged some resources internally. Like if I only have 1 transaction going on, I won't hire a transaction coordinator, but if I'm busy, I will. So I sat down and just created a lot of systems. So I have sort of that spreadsheet or timeline, and I literally print them out and hang them on my wall and have them color coded because I know the Johnsons are purple and the Smiths are orange, and check everything off. I'm such a visual person, so that's helpful.
Yeah.
And now I, have connected with resources that I can leverage. For example, we have somebody in our office that will do social media for you. That's not
Mm-hmm.
my favorite, but if I'm super busy, I want to make sure social, I'm at least posting once or twice a week. So also I can justify that because I am going to be having some income. So yes, I will pay somebody to do some social media, but I have it set in a way that I can turn on and off because like right now I don't have anything and I don't want to be paying people because I can do those things myself. So that was a real learning curve. And like you said, I wasn't following up with people like I should.
Sure.
Um, Oh,
Sorry.
oh, um,
Puppy is upset. Sorry.
oh no.
Let her know.
So,
Sorry. Let her
so
know.
I, so I will change from making calls during the day to sending texts and emails at night. So I just have all those systems in place and I'm ready for it to get busy again.
And you will. Once, remember, I've been doing this for a while now.
Mhm.
Not, it wasn't the past year. It's been 5 years that I've been a full-time agent. And before that, of course, I worked well over a decade in senior living. You know that things take time, and that's okay. It's okay to have it take time, but as you continue to go in this business and you're doing your board calls, your bod calls, like Paul has taught you, and you're starting to leverage that. When you have your slow times, are you leveraging your title companies, your mortgage companies to co-market with you, to help with those expenses, to start putting out more boosting ads? What are you doing to leverage that beyond the, okay, I have 4 listings happening right now. Who in my office can sit photography for me, can go and open the door? Or who in my office can go and do an open house for me? Or who can go and sit an inspection for me? Those are things that as you start to grow, you need to find the people who maybe are brand new agents that you can mentor and want to shadow you on some things, shadow with you once, then they're helping you, and you're working out what I call, and Corey calls the same thing, a project management fee. My project management fee is awesome. I leverage this all the time, and I bring someone on as a co-list. We negotiate a small percentage of the compensation when it sells, but their job is to help manage the open houses, any vendors that have to come in. A lot of times, when we work with our seniors, like right now, I have 3 rooms that have to be painted in one listing right now. That is not a good use of my time to go and open the door and sit there while the painter is painting. My time is better suited spending 3 hours cultivating at least 6 more referral partners, half hour each. I never schedule a meeting longer than a half hour, too. I'm really diligent. I let them know I got a half hour and let's go. And sometimes I'm meeting at the same coffee shop and it's just rotating people to come in to see me. And I let them know that. I'm like, well, this is my day to go be out in the community. So I'm so happy that you're here. But at 10:30, do you know Kelsey? She's coming in to meet with me. If not, I'll introduce you guys. She's great, and this is what she does. Leverage your time, leverage everything that you have. Always keep that mentality. I'm from the Northeast. I still have that Northeast mentality. I'm like, go, 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 go. No matter what job I've ever had, I've always done the job of 3 people. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just
Oh,
the pace that we lived
oh,
in the Northeast. If you didn't, if you didn't keep up, they would find someone else. Before I was in senior living and hospice, I worked for the U.S. Open Tennis Association. I did 6 U.S. Opens. My job was to manage millions of dollars of tickets that came in through the new business department. And our goal was like over $40 million a year in sponsorships. So I'm used to like go, 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 go. That's where I've learned all of my marketing background, my design background, because they sent me to school for it, because I had to create these decks, these pitch decks for if Mercedes wanted to come into the stadium, what it would look like for Mercedes to be there. And I would have to Photoshop different areas for them. So this is where all of my marketing came in, which was a great thing. But my boss was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. I had no choice. I had no choice but to keep up. So that was my real first corporate job. I did 6 US Opens. Checked into a LaGuardia Airport hotel for 34 nights. I know how exciting that sounds for all of you, and that was so much fun. We worked about 120 hours a week. It was
oh,
awesome. But you have to, when you come down to Southwest Florida, we have what I call island time. it's a little bit slower down here. People don't move as fast as I do. So, I still have that grind in me because it's been there for so long.
So
Yes.
Felicia, I just wanted to share when you're talking about that, the Northeast, I'm in New York right now visiting my daughter, and I'm also getting
Ah,
treatments on my back. And it is interesting how I've gotten caught up in that. So I've got an hour train ride to get to some place. Well, gosh, I've just created 3 social media posts.
yes.
Or, I don't feel like I can be on the phone, on the train, but there's so many things that I can be doing, catching up on email and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I really need to incorporate this into my normal life in Minneapolis. Like when I'm
Hmm.
sitting for a doctor's appointment, gosh, that's 20 minutes wasted. You've got your phone, you can still accomplish a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
yes, so I can relate to that Northeast mentality for
Yeah.
sure.
And I love it when my husband actually drives me around because I get so much more accomplished in the car. And he'll be asking me a question, and I'm like, getting everything done. I'm like, could you drive me around all day? He's like, no. But I love that. But the thing about it is, you have to leverage your time. If you are working till 10, 11 o'clock at night, anytime past 6 o'clock doing admin work, you need to reevaluate where you are spending your time. And the best way to do that and the best way to get started is take a notebook and write the date down and write every little thing that you did in that day and track that for about 2 weeks. And then I want you to take that journaling that you did. And when you're writing everything down that you're doing, write morning, afternoon, evening, write times down. Not like 2:01, I entered in 5 contacts. No. I'm just saying, like in the morning, you did this, in the afternoon, you did this, after hours, you did this. I want you to track that because it will tell you where you're spending most of your time and where you could be more efficient with someone. Now, a lot of us are on a budget. I am, because the other issue that we all have, which we're not going to dive into today, we'll dive in at another time, is you have all these listings, but the market's wonky everywhere. I was just on a post today on a forum where I think they were in the Midwest, and people were talking all about what's happening in Colorado and what's happening in the Northeast and how some houses are selling and some houses aren't. So you have to convert these to sales in order to make money because we have to keep the money flowing in. I don't know any way else to do it. And I actually said to one of my clients jokingly, I'm like, we might do a bikini car wash in your driveway to bring people in, as long as you're not offended by that. But I was so joking. I'm just joking right now. But what I'm saying is, it's like, how are we going to bring in these buyers, right? So just getting really creative. Um, but the whole point about this is you want to see what you're spending time on and not getting sucked in to social media reels. One of the biggest time suckers is when you're on social media and you're doing your 5 to 10 likes, comments a day, is now you've scrolled in and you're looking at puppy videos. This is me. I'm looking at golden retriever videos. I do not have a golden retriever. I have a Havanese that's 14 pounds. But I'm just saying, my daughter, I'm like, oh, look how cute this dog is. It's so cute. Oh my God, it's so cute. And now 4 hours later, I'm scrolling through. Not a good time, not a good use of my time. I do that now after hours because I've identified where my shortfalls are. And, my husband's retired. He sends me about 15 TikToks a day. Did you see what just happened? Did you see how they made these biscuits? And he sent one this morning. They boiled them instead of baked them. I'm like, I have no time for this. So it's like you just have to identify what's your time sucker. Is it going out? You can get into the rhythm of going to meet people for coffee and lunch. But for me, I do that one day out of the week because I have to drive there. Takes me 20 to 40 minutes to get anywhere here down in Southwest Florida. And then I have to meet with them and I got to drive home. So I better make more than one person that I'm seeing at that time so that I make my time more valuable. So we talked about a couple of different things today, but I really think it's important for you to identify how to become unbusy. There is a whole Facebook group on there, and there's a whole company on this to become unbusy. Weed out the things that do not serve you, weed out the things that are not bringing value to you, and figure out what is bringing value to you. I think you all know that I'm the queen of ROI. I put an ROI onto everything. I do that because I need to make sure what I'm working on has value and that I'm not getting into a slump. Yes, I do have a virtual assistant. I think I pay her $6 an hour, and it really does help with my social media. I don't do any of my social media anymore. I don't do any of my blog posting anymore. I send her all of my drafts of everything, and she posts it for me. To me, that's worth its weight in gold because I have a presence on all of my social media outlets on a daily basis. And my blogs are getting read, and she's putting it across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube as needed, and then my Google profile. Because you can upload things to your Google profile to get people to boost you in your SEO search.
How did you find your virtual assistant?
I interviewed probably about 12 of them, and they come from an independent contractor. So I'm not going through a third party
Okay.
where you might spend a little bit more on an hourly basis. And if you want the independent contractor who started this, I could share that with you too. No, I do not get paid for promoting this because that's the next question that people ask. I just think that this is from the goodness of my heart. This has changed my business. I started with her back in, I think, like October. And she's helped me tremendously. She also works on my database and my drip campaigns. And right now I'm in the process of switching systems. And so while I want to have a good overview of how to use my CRM, it's also not a good use of my time. That's what she's there for, to help leverage for me. So we work very well together. We text each other. And then I use my Google Drive for stuff to send over, and then email. We're in communication. Like this morning, we must have spent like 50 texts together on like, okay, we're working on this and we have this coming up. And did you see this email? So, you have to have someone that you feel very comfortable with. And sometimes there is a language barrier, but you just have to find the right person for you because everyone is different. But these are just things to help keep you efficient, because when you're starting to do, a lot of you are starting to do presentations, you're starting to do tours of communities, you're starting to do some networking groups in senior living communities so that you're getting to know each other. I am not a proponent of going to a networking group that doesn't work for you. There are lots in my area. Like I said, I'm the board president of Naples Interagency, which I have 125-ish professionals that go to. I speak. I just did this on Tuesday. I open the meeting, I close the meeting. They get to hear about what I do. It's good value for me. I get about 2/3 of my leads from those people on an annual basis, because I track that. And so it's like you have to find what's going to work for you really well. Then you have to follow up. So what questions do you have before we go? Has this been helpful? I need 3 key takeaways.
Time block and do it well and stick to it.
Mm-hmm. That's
Be
for sure.
intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I need one more.
Use the migration patterns.
Migration patterns are my favorite. I talk about migration patterns to my clients, folks. They know all about their migration pattern and who's looking. Because I check before I go on my listing appointments, and I'm like, 1,250 people are looking to move from Chicago today to Naples. Did you know that? And they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, I have an AI tool.
Well, and I would imagine it is much more relevant in your market with the snowbirds and everything than it is in like the Twin Cities. After you shared that information, I looked and it's like, oh, people are moving from St. Cloud, which is 60 miles west of us. There isn't a lot of moves from other states. So,
Yeah. And it depends. It depends on your area. And, but it still will tell you the top towns from
mhm.
your area that you have. Um, so you can keep an eye on that. And then you need to see where people are moving to, because that's also a referral partner. So it doesn't matter if you have a mass exodus from your area or influx to your area. No matter what that is, that's opportunity for you to connect with an agent or several agents on future referrals. You're building a relationship with them. Do some videos with them, or just like I tell people, like when we go and start doing a podcast, it's a conversation to have. It's like, let's talk about your area. What's up and coming? What's changing? What do you see happening? It's just two friends having a conversation. Don't make it so rigid, just make it fluid. I like to talk off the cuff with my podcast. We give a guideline on what we want to talk about, but it's just a conversation, and keep it that way. You don't have to have a podcast to do it. You can just put your reel out or your video out on social media or your YouTube page. That's okay. And there's a lot of easy ways to do that. But Donna Owens wrote, I need to learn the migration patterns, also need to stop watching the shiny objects. Yeah, shiny objects will kill your business. Absolutely. So will Friday afternoon happy hours. Gotta have some fun sometimes though. So I hope you all find this helpful today. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you through that and funnel through it. And Linda, you are on my list today to connect with as well, because I have your email. Just been a little nutty lately. And I hope you all go and have a fabulous Thursday. Don't forget, we have script and role play today. I believe it's 11:30 Eastern time. Memory serves me correctly. So let's go and have fun. Oh, and don't forget to sign up on the referral sheet. If you haven't done it already, it's on our Senior Mastermind Facebook page to try and help us to be able to find agents. Because like all the time we get asked, who's in Oklahoma was one that was yesterday, or who's here. So we'll be able to help people. All right. Bye,
Felicia,
everybody. Yes.
Felicia, one last question. I know, and I know I've asked it before, but where do we find in Kajabi the migration pattern thing or explanation? Because I keep trying to do it, and I keep I need to memorize it somehow.
Sherry, can you find the migration pattern workshop that I did and just post that on the membership page
Oh,
for
that would be
them?
so perfect. That would
Like
be
the
perfect.
name or the link? Perfect.
I will.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Sherry. All right, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you. You